meeting. So, reports of the Board of Presidents. And I just want to remind our board members about the email you might have received it as well too, about the Read Across America. This is the March is the Dr. Seuss month, and there's a Read Across America that celebrate and encourage literature of the community. So Mr. Bello in Lindenburg every year, every March he invites us to be a guest reader. And if anyone who have not experienced this or shy to be there to read, you can come with me. I just signed up 11:30, and then Dr. Cirillo, you signed up 11, right? And
Yeah, I didn't want to be there with you. No, I'm just kidding.
that's why I put 11:30.
How do you know
for
when I
me.
signed up?
I looked at it.
I'm changing it.
Wanna come at the same time then? Fine.
I'm just kidding.
All right. So, yeah. So if you
And if anyone did not get that invitation, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to add you.
Elementary school kids or?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can read a book to me. Yes, we read to children. Yes, and also if you'd like to be considered to read to the Early Childhood Center, they also are doing this. Just let me know.
When's their date?
Usually on Fridays.
oh, actually next Wednesday, isn't it?
They're doing Wednesdays now.
I think it's March 26th.
No, that's
Usually
that's
Fridays.
That's
Lindbergh's
the-
at
Oh,
26th.
you're talking about, okay, sorry. But
Yeah, Fridays here.
this Friday?
Most Fridays, yes. I will confirm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not good at reading a storybook, but our children's teachers are very, very generous, and it's happy to see them in the classroom. And this is one of the rare opportunities for our board members to have a direct contact with our students in the classroom. So, yeah, please check out your email. And the next, I don't know if you really like to talk, but I have one question from the community that why our school office is closed. So today I was there in the office by Dr. Cirillo's core, and he was in the roof, and then Mr. Alex.
It wasn't high enough.
Yeah, and then Mr. Alex is holding the letter. So in the report of superintendents, maybe you can
Sure, I'll
introduce
give
a little
a-
bit of the condition of our school board office.
I will be more than happy to give a brief update, and then I will turn it over to Tyler while I'm setting up for the presentation. Probably about 2 or 3 months ago, as you are well aware, 410 Second Street is a office space. It's a converted ambulance corps building. It is the borough's property, and it is or has been leaking. So the roof is probably lived its life expectancy. Long and short of it, when nothing is done to leaks in a roof, as you are well aware, and unfortunately I've had experience with, discoloration of tiles begins, and then mold develops. We had 3 surface samples sent to a lab. All 3 are very high positive in mold concentration. Therefore, we immediately had to leave our office. We were told it would originally be a 2-day remediation, air quality test, and a return to the office maybe by Thursday of this week, until I was called this morning and I visited to see what looks like a couple sticks of dynamite went off. Not only is the office being remediated, but much of the integrity of the, I guess the beams is soaking wet. That has to be now dehumidified, I've been told, and encapsulated. I'm learning terms I've never learned in my life, which means treated for no further mold remediation. Guys, I haven't gotten to the best part. The roof is still not fixed. So there was about 3 inches of water when I went on the roof, probably at about 10:30 this morning. I commend our custodial team for helping in removing that water. But last I checked the weather on Thursday, we're getting some more rain. So no point in putting ceiling tiles up again to have to remediate again. We did have a meeting with our mayor. We did explain that that is their property. We do have a lease agreement. And we are hopeful that we are going to recoup the money, but clearly work has to be performed. So the long and short of it, we are gonna put some temporary patches on the roof. We are going to keep our fingers crossed that we no longer get water damage and get a air quality test conducted probably by the weekend and hope to return early next week. Did I leave anything out?
Nope.
Tyler Jung,
Thank you.
you're up, buddy. Our student rep.
Hello everyone. So I would like to take the time to share some recent and upcoming events at the Palisades Park Junior Senior High School. So last week, juniors finished their NJ-GPA testing. Also last week, PPHS hosted a school event called Pie Day. That's where students raise money to throw pie at teachers' faces. And so ironically, we raised $314, and all the money went to St. Michael's Food Bank. Today, the PPHS started a volunteer initiative called the Eye of the Tiger. And this is where student volunteers allow administrators to shadow them, and it gives administrators the opportunity to understand and help the children better. The PPHS school is also helping to decorate bricks and flowers in front of the school to elevate the atmosphere and school spirit. Tomorrow, March 14, we're also expected to have a NJ Stars presentation. And this is where a Bergen Community College student will help inform juniors and seniors the opportunities of attending college tuition free. Around April, we're expected to have a Korean trip as well to New York, and some more fundraisers are coming up around April. April, yeah.
Sit down.
Thank you, Tyler. So for those of you that are probably unfamiliar with this, a few weeks back I was tasked with a graduate school assignment, which I definitely look forward to. In all fairness, this is something we have not done in this district before, but it's something that I'd be more than happy to share, both for the board's edification, but also for any community members or teachers. So I'm gonna try to be as short, sweet, and concise as possible. It is going to be about 10 or 12 slides, but it is very important information. This will speak to, as Mr. Kim said earlier, some of our district goals. A lot of our teachers at our convocation early in the year, we always discuss this, and obviously, part of my evaluation is directly connected to our district goals. So I will speak to this rather quickly, and then we'll allow for some follow-up I think in the audience participation part, of course. I don't want to open it up right now. So clearly, as we've always stressed, mental health and well-being of our students and staff is paramount. Fiscal responsibility, not just now, but I can tell you in my 12 years of being a superintendent, with a 2% tax cap, the whole state of New Jersey is at a cliff, a fiscal cliff. This is not something unique to Powell Park. This is something, in speaking to all colleagues throughout the state of New Jersey, we are pretty much at that breaking point. Expansion of preschool programs and partnerships. You guys know how near and dear getting that grant money was when we started it in this room with the governor at the time. But to be able to say, and I'm sorry for my back guys, to be able to say next year is year 5 of our full rollout, and we said we were gonna have it, we're doing it, and not only doing it, we're doing it very successful, thanks to your part. Continued improvement of academic achievement. For those of you that I've been with side by side from day one in 2003, I can tell you that we have seen a very transient population over the course of 23 years, I guess, at this point, right? We're almost there, 22 years. And I'll get into that a little bit later, but the days of a HESPA test, high school proficiency assessment, and 95 to 98% success rate is long gone. Our population continues to change, the test continues to change, and the expectations, obviously, for us, and for me especially, is not about a 1-week window, but 180 days calendar year. A lot more teaching and learning is happening outside of 5 days or 4 days when we are assessing students on a standardized test. And 5, obviously continuing the implementation of best practices and improving our school safety and security in and around our schools. So obviously, you know, a program that we started this year and I've been seeing and hearing some great things about is Sensational Kids. We started this both in our Lindbergh Elementary School and junior senior high school for our middle school grades. I think in dealing with many of our infractions, the hormones are raging and the middle school kids are very impulsive. So we wanted to see if we can pilot a program. We're hearing and seeing great things. Mindfulness, when I think of mindfulness, you know, obviously it's full, right? It's full, it's ready to blow. But let's think about being healthy. Let's think about what we're doing to, again, as staff members, PD related, a lot of PD has been happening, a lot of great programs are offered. Clearly, this is about taking care of one another and being in a good place to make sure our students are healthy and happy. Growth mindset, every single day. We continue to evolve. We continue to learn from one another. So we have to have an open mind in that we are going to continue to grow. The second goal, as I spoke of earlier, was fiscal responsibility. Something we've done this year, and again, it's you know, people talk about overcrowded. We are taking 1 or 2 students into our school, and they're paying full tuition. Not a number I'm making, but a number that the state makes. We are transporting with shared services, as Mr. Junium mentioned earlier. Something that I'm very happy about is another partnership that we're gonna hopefully embark on with Hara Transportation. Instead of going to First Student for a tennis team of 12 student athletes after school and being charged X amount of dollars for a 54 passenger, well, having a 26 passenger on our lot, able to do potentially multiple runs, I think is another opportunity for us to save some money. Operational, educational expenditures, something the board I hope moves on in a few minutes, is the ACES program. The ACES program is in conjunction with NJSBA, New Jersey School Board Association, and that is an opportunity for us to get best pricing because PSE&G, as we're all well aware, gas and electric continues to go up, and it's only going to continue to go that way. But if we can potentially go into a co-op agreement with other school districts, we could potentially save some money. Annual purchasing procedures and internal controls. I applaud Alex. I know there's a purchasing manual. I know our auditor was here a few weeks ago. I think that was probably the cleanest audit we've seen in our time together. So I'm very happy to see things moving in the right directions fiscally. Expansion of our preschool program, as you're all well aware, and I saw Samantha back there. Samantha's in one of those 2 new pre-K classrooms at Lindbergh Elementary School. From everything I hear and see, we are moving at a great rate of success with those students. Continued collaboration and expansion with New Christian Academy. We're gonna probably very likely go from 2 classrooms to 4 classrooms in September down at the New Christian Academy. And as you're all very, very well aware of, as I mentioned a few months ago, we have been awarded $2,040,061 for a preschool expansion. So again, that's great. There's another price tag that comes with it for the plan that was submitted to Trenton. So that other price tag is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3 million with prevailing wage. I'm not sure if the referendum will happen anytime soon, but I know the money is available to us at 40% of the cost of the project. Improving academic achievement. I think this is something that obviously everyone, you know, we all live and die by test scores, unfortunately. I was never a good standardized test taker. I know many students in this room probably get anxious, right? It's not a good feeling when the teacher says, we're taking a test. But there has to be a tool, there has to be an assessment to measure levels of competency. I wanna just point out some of the programs, obviously, that are quantitative, obviously teacher observations, report cards, performance reports, and INRS reports. That will show us data, that will show us scores. But I also think we have to look at this qualitatively. Our multi-language learners, our special ed population, combined are nearing 50% of our total population in district. Those two subgroups are almost at 50%. Our economically disadvantaged is at 56%. So this community, as I mentioned 23 years ago, has changed dramatically by way of those numbers. Those numbers, we're seeing an influx of obviously free and reduced skyrocketing, and our Ls, our multi-language learners, increasing at a dramatic rate of speed. Goal number 5, something that I think, unfortunately, working in the Jersey City Public Schools prior to coming here, this was something always paramount to me, to ensure that our students and staff are healthy. And it goes, you know, I guess into our central office as well now, right now, literally. Mold, it's something that we cannot have an employee be subjected to it. Immediately, before we even got the lab results, we had to evacuate. Out of an abundance of caution, we want to make sure that everyone is safe in a good place. But I'm very proud to say that the continued collaboration with the Pal Park Police and the fire department has been at probably one of the all-time highs. I think the partnership that we fostered with the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, specifically Bill Stallone, he's a Paramus resident. He's a dear friend, but he's also very, very good at what he does. He travels to every school in Bergen County. He will tell you about what best practices are. He will tell you about areas of vulnerability. So Bill is definitely someone that I know Natalia, our SRO, was in touch with, I believe, earlier this week, and someone that we'll probably see in the next few weeks in our buildings. And again, continued work with the NJDOE, Office of School Preparedness and Emergency Planning. So a different level of Bill Stallone, who concentrates on Bergen County. The state has a much wider lens, and they know what is going on statewide. I'm going to change gears a little bit to our evaluation metrics. I know a lot of the goals tie into the evaluations. For the record, for the board members' edification, my evaluation is conducted by the board. The business administrator is done by myself. Central office staff is done by Alex or myself. Teachers are observed by principals or supervisors. Principals and supervisors are evaluated by me. So there are rubrics. I shared in the last few weeks all of the measures, all of the instruments that we utilize. All of the information with regard to the teachers is objective. It is black and white. It is, we saw this and we're going to document what we saw. There's not much room for subjectivity when it comes to the evaluation of maybe the non-instructional staff, a guidance counselor, for example. Maybe it's a window of time that we're looking at, because sometimes it might get a little creepy to just sit there with you for 55 minutes if the phone doesn't ring or if the student's not interacting with you. The teacher is constantly teaching. It's a different type of look-fors, and things we see, we document. So these are the 4 levels. The educator effectiveness is in NJDOE. These are the 4 levels and the metrics that go along with it. The next slide is a 3-year analysis of where our teacher evaluations have fallen. So as you can see, we're hovering around the high 3.3s. And again, on a whole, teachers are effective. And when I say teachers, again, this is all certificated staff members. So inclusive of nurses, inclusive of guidance counselors, inclusive of child study team members. More specifically, last year, this is where our teachers fell. Obviously, I'm not going to single anyone out and tell you who's who. I would never do that for confidentiality. But as you can see, last year, I broke it down even further. When we look at our principals and supervisors, a much smaller group. I believe there's a total of 12 or 13 of them. But again, a 3-year window of what it looks like. Somewhat similar. I bet you if we did a median average of the 2, we would probably be in that same number range. Monica is the math teacher. She's already calculated it for me. Again, a breakdown of our 12 administrators or supervisors. It's 7 administrators who are 12-month and 5 supervisors who are 10 months and 1 week. So that's how the breakdown is. And some final thoughts. Obviously, you know, again, I'm charged with a lot of different tasks. I don't think one of them was to go on the roof of the board office today. I was hoping that Alex would shake it, maybe. Just the ladder, not the roof. All kidding aside, though, I firmly believe the strong evaluation model is a very good instrument. I think it's successful. I think we have been seeing quality work day in and day out by our faculty and staff. I'm recommending to the board that we continue with the strong model for both teachers and administrators, evaluations. Something that I think we can continue to foster, and it's not required. But there's a component in that model, and the strong model is named after James Strong. I believe he's a professor, I'm gonna say at the University of Virginia. I could be wrong in that, but he's definitely a Southerner. Inter-rater reliability. So, as you all know, part of the requirement of the strong model, and this is really for the board, I think, at this point, multiple observers must go in. So in the event I don't like someone, I really can't go in and get you. So the inter-rater reliability piece is that the 2 observers must fall into a window of accuracy when they are evaluating the same individual. There's a training. It was required to be done once and only once. It could be done every year. I would recommend that this summer our 12 admin and supervisors get trained again. It can't hurt. I give you a thank you, but more importantly, I thank Chris Guerrero. I'm pretty good at tech, but as you can tell, much of this information was done alongside Chris, so I applaud you for your efforts. Thank you so much. And then we'll save questions for the end. Good? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cirillo.
Tyler said I did really good, guys.
Any board members, questions? You already raised it, so. Good, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Cirillo. So, the evaluation advisory committee members might have to meet, right, to discuss with Dr. Cirillo as well. Thank you. Report of the board attorney, Mr. Mander, do you have any reports?
Nothing to report.
Thank you.
Okay.
So approval of the board minutes, as we talk about in the working session, there's only one condition on February 26th, executive meeting minutes. One sentence needs to be removed. With that condition, may I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 26th?
I agree.
One second.
Second.
All in favor? No objection, abstention. Okay, the minutes is approved. So building and ground, because there's one condition here, so that we were do both, but Mr. Monday, so there's another board member was requesting that whether we could just go all consent except finance and personnel.
For the meeting minutes, I wasn't here for that meeting, so I can't approve it.
We will reflect that in the vote. Rebecca wasn't here for that, okay? Yeah.
But as long as, but it might not, is,
If she read
Mr.
it.
Minder, correct me if I'm wrong. Although the board member were not in the actual meeting, but once they read the meeting minutes and then have a good credibility or belief on other board members' decision, they can vote on, or do you think they have to abstain thoroughly?
No, board members don't need to abstain, but
often they do if they weren't at the meeting.
Okay, thank you. About anyway, our notes, that is,
You wanna move everything but finance and personnel to,
except the finance and personnel, that has to go by roll call votes, right?
yeah, I
And
think
the others.
that's fine.
I would recommend for the
So maybe the board,
transportation vendor, that there's a verification of adequate insurance before so subject to insurance,
In finance?
for buildings
No,
and
buildings and grounds.
We received a certificate.
We
of
received
liability.
all the conditions that were met.
So they're trying to go there, right?
Sorry?
It's supposed to committee, everything will approve until. So building and ground, we have one condition, so let's,
The condition has been satisfied, Ms. Chung.
we should document it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
not just summer camp?
No, that was, Mr. Kim was discussing the transportation,
Right.
that there's a certificate of liability, and we have received
Yeah,
it.
you have,
But I think he wants it still stipulated in
okay,
the resolution.
okay. With the condition, and then number one,
Share that with the board.